Mindfulness meditation is completely suited for modern times. It is a practice that can be done by anyone, regardless of age, background, or religion. The research exploring mindfulness, although still relatively new, is demonstrating that repeated practice can lead to changes in our lives, including reducing stress, reducing chronic physical pain, boosting the body's immune system to fight disease, coping with painful life events, such as the death of a loved one or major illness, dealing with negative emotions like anger, fear, and greed, increasing self-awareness to detect harmful reactive patterns of thought, feeling, and action, improving attention or concentration, enhancing positive emotions including happiness and compassion, increasing interpersonal skills and relationships, reducing addictive behaviors such as eating disorders, alcoholism, and smoking, enhancing performance, whether in work, sports, or academics, stimulating and releasing creativity, changing positively the actual structure of our brains. The emerging research on mindfulness makes it sound like a cure-all for whatever ails us, and perhaps it could be considered a simple solution for complex problems. For many people, mindfulness practice is an excellent adjunct to other approaches they may be using to promote health and wellness, such as therapy, exercise, nutrition, or medication. Moreover, although mindfulness does not remove the ups and downs of life, it changes how experiences like losing a job, getting a divorce, struggling at home or at school, births, marriages, illness, death, and dying influence you and how you influence the experience. In other words, mindfulness changes your relationship to life. Learning to live mindfully does not mean living in a perfect world, but rather living a full and contented life in a world in which both joys and challenges are a given. This book explores how to be more mindful in day-to-day life and how to use a mindfulness practice to promote well-being. But this book is also about our individual differences, both in our genes and in the environments that shape us, and how these differences affect our capacity to live more mindfully. Mindfulness meditation is itself a tool for discovering more about ourselves and how we relate to the world around us. This inward investigation, using the tool of mindfulness meditation, may help us understand more about ourselves from a first-person viewpoint, just as science has done using a third-person lens of investigation. How did we get here? Fully Present grew out of the collaboration of a scientist, Sue Smalley, and a mindfulness teacher and practitioner, Diana Winston, at their center, the Mindful Awareness Research Center, MARC, at the Jane and Terry Semel Institute for Neuroscience and Human Behavior at the University of California at Los Angeles. MARC is dedicated to increasing mindful awareness through education and research to promote individual well-being and a kinder society. Through MARC, we teach doctors, professors, students, teachers, mental health professionals, parents, seniors, and youth the science, art, and practice of mindfulness in MAPS classes, workshops, and trainings, and conduct research on its effectiveness in promoting well-being. Both of us are deeply committed to mindfulness and have a strong curiosity about the interface of the science, art, and practice of mindfulness. Even though science is the dominant cultural paradigm in the United States, we believe that the ancient practices from the East can inform, affect, and complement life in the modern West. We hope to articulate mindfulness in a way that feels relevant for our times. How can a secular language, based in science, be used to describe what was once the realm of the mystics and philosophers? And practically, how can mindfulness have a positive effect on lives in the 21st century amid the technology of BlackBerries, iPods, iPhones, and the Internet? This book attempts to answer these questions by examining mindfulness through the lens of a scientist, Sue, the lens of a mindfulness teacher, Diana, and the lens of a practitioner, you, the listener, as you learn the experiential practices we offer. Here's how the two of us came together to write this book. Sue's story. When I was 47, I had what might be called a mystical experience. At the time, I was living the hectic life of a full-time professor at UCLA, a mother of 3, and a wife of a successful entrepreneur in the entertainment industry of Hollywood. Although I appeared happy,